All right. So from book 9, New Coasts and Poseidon's Son. For 7 of the 10 years Odysseus has spent wandering the Mediterranean Sea, he has been held captive by the goddess Calypso on her island. In book 5, Zeus sends the god Hermes to tell Calypso to release Odysseus. She helps him build a raft on which he can sail to his next destination. He must sail for 20 days before landing on the island of Scheria, where he will be helped in his efforts to return home. In books 6 through 8, Odysseus is welcomed by King Alcinous, who gives him a banquet in his honor. That night, the king begs Odysseus to tell who he is and what has happened to him. In books 9 through 12, Odysseus relates to the king his adventures. So, guys, in the beginning, he's stuck at Calypso's island. Then she helps him build a raft. He leaves and he ends up with the king. So, this is where he starts his story over again. And I'll go over that later in class. Okay, so Odysseus says, I am Laertes' son. What shall I say first? What shall I keep until the end? The gods have tried me in 1,000 ways, but first, my name, let that be known to you. And if I pull away from this pitiless death, friendship will bind us, though my land lies far. I am Laertes' son Odysseus. Men hold me formidable for guile in peace and war. This fame has gone abroad to the sky's rim. My home is on the peaked sea mark of Ithaca under Mount Neon's wind-blown robes of leaves, in sight of other islands, Dulichium, same, wooded, Zacanthius. Ithaca being the most lofty in that coastal sea, and northwest, while the rest lie east and south. A rocky isle, but good for a boy's training. I shall not see on earth a place more dear, though I have been detained long by Calypso, the loveliest among goddesses, who held me in her smooth caves to be her heart's delight. As Circe of Aea the enchantress desired me, and detained me in her hall. But in my heart I never gave consent. Where shall a man find sweetness to surpass his own home and his parents? In far lands he shall not, though he find a house of gold. What of my sailings then from Troy? What of those years of rough adventure weathered under Zeus? Right? Odysseus explains that soon after leaving Troy, he and his crew land near Ismarus, the city of the Cicons. The Cicons are allies of the Trojans and therefore enemies of Odysseus. Odysseus and his crew raid the Cicons, robbing and killing them until the Siconian army kills 72 of Odysseus's men and drives the rest out to sea. Delayed by a storm for 2 days, Odysseus and his remaining companions then continue their journey. The Lotus Eaters. I might have made it safely home that time, but as I came round Malaya, the current took me out to sea, and from the north a fresh gale drove me on, past Cyrrhetha. 9 days I drifted on the teeming sea, before dangerous high winds. Upon the 10th we came to the coastline of the Lotus Eaters, who lived upon that flower. We landed there to take on water. All ships' companies mustered alongside for the midday meal. Then I sent out 2 picked men and a runner to learn what race of men that land sustained. They fell in soon enough with the Lotus Eaters, who showed no will to do us any harm, only offering the sweet lotus to our friends. But those who ate that honeyed plant, the lotus, never cared to report nor to return. They longed to stay forever, browsing on that native bloom, forgetful of their homeland. I drove them all 3 wailing to the ships, tied them down under their rowing benches, and called to the rest, all hands aboard, come, clear the beach, and no one taste the lotus, or you'll lose your hope of home. Filing into their places in their rowlocks, my oarsmen dipped their long oars into the turf, and we moved out again on our seafaring. And that's where we'll stop for today.